All right, here we are, another day around the trash fire. Your host, Matthias, along with the boy,
John.
John. Here we are, another week of more Warhammer news.
Indeed.
Indeed, indeed. I'm
Unlike some
excited.
other companies who aren't releasing anything.
Tell us how you really feel about it, John.
I don't know, man. It's weird. It's like on one, like I don't think Games Workshop is the norm in terms of releases, but it's just weird, like playing other games and just nothing coming out. Like I'm playing Legion and Shatterpoint, and it's like again, I've said this before in the cast, and it's like the next thing is releasing in the new year, and that's a while from now. I mean, it's 2 months ish, but 2 months is a long time if this is your main hobby and you want to be fueled by capitalistic release things ASAP and do all that fun stuff. But yeah, it's like I'm mad, but also not mad. I'm annoyed that there's nothing coming out, but also it's like am I just like conditioned the Games Workshop
Well, I
to get
mean, you've
used
been with
to it?
Game Workshop for a long time, so.
It's true. This is true.
But it's only been, what, 8th edition? That's when the community website came up, right?
This is true. Yep, that is true.
That's when that's when GW started going into the positive light
Yeah.
with the
And it's
community.
also interestingly around the time when, if you look at the popular games right now, that's kind of when they started too, or started getting
X-Wing.
popular, like Legion, MCP, right?
Was Legion that popular back when 8th edition was out?
No, 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 I'm saying like the games are popular now. They
Oh,
started
okay.
around that time. Yeah, yeah. The Legion was still growing, or
Yeah,
still
it
growing
was
from
X-Wing back then.
yeah, X-wing. Yeah, X-wing is unfortunately not that relevant anymore. But yeah, like the ones that are relevant now, they got kind of they were born around that time where the eighth edition came out. So it is interesting to see that kind of evolution of because eighth edition is kind of when wargaming became super popular. To be quite honest with you, yeah, wargaming was pretty had a sizable community globally,
Hmm.
but when we started and all that. But I think when eighth edition dropped, that's when it really became
Well,
mainstream in the nerd culture.
that was the great reset for at least 40K wise. And
Yeah,
AOS was getting its second win with second edition.
yep, that's right.
So
So
GW was getting up there. They were
and that's kind
getting
of
back on
when
top of the world.
interestingly too, like even BattleTech, like last time we talked about, I'm kind of getting into that now. That they also kind of had their not edition change, but their like the modern form of BattleTech right now kind of also came out during the eighth edition period when wargaming again kind of exploded. So it is interesting to look at like the eighth edition era and seeing how wargaming evolved. It's like it's a big step in wargaming again. Like that's when it really became mainstream in the nerd world. I
Well,
think coincidentally D&D also exploded around that time. I don't think it has anything to do with Games Workshop, but there's also that.
I mean, fifth ed, kind of just made D&D super simple because I mean, my first D&D experience, I didn't jump into third ed, which I hear is the best edition according to people. I mean, I jumped into fourth edition, and that shit was cumbersome because there was so much stuff you had to remember, so much stuff to do. It was too much. I ain't like.
Interestingly, I jumped in fifth as well, but I had played a lot of the FFG 40K RPGs then, and those were also quite cumbersome. So I think the streamlined nature of D&D 5 fifth edition really helped.
Oh yeah, 5e is super simple to get into because I remember joining a campaign back in when I used to work at the hobby store. We had one of the regional D&D guys come in and
Oh, well,
do a do a session like every Wednesday or something. I don't remember when our D&D day was, but he'd come in every week, if he had time, and he'd just run a session. He
oh,
even
wow.
wrote an adventure for Wizards of the Coast. So that's how good and respected he was in the community.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, you can look him up. Had a interesting name. John Africa was his name.
John Africa.
John
All
Africa.
right.
But yeah, but the reason why I feel like everything started exploding during 8th edition, war game wise, is because companies smelled blood in the water of GW. 7th edition was not a great edition for GW, in my opinion. They weren't
I
they weren't talking to the fans. They were just doing whatever they wanted. They were killing off old world during 7th edition, and they just were not in a good spot. So, of course, Warmahordes was gaining a lot of popularity. I believe that was, correct me, it was 3rd edition that we were on?
It was second edition. That's
Second edition. Second edition was going off. You had all the war gang or press gangers, as they called them.
X-Wing was a big thing.
X-Wing was a big thing. Armada wasn't that big, but it was still, it was Star Wars, so it was popular enough back in the day. I'm trying to remember the one game. What was it? It was basically Old World, but it was by Mantic Games, I think.
Kings of War.
Kings of War, yeah. That was filling in for the Warhammer Old World content. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot more competition and a lot more general threats to GW. Even how big GW was back then, there was a lot more games out there that were taking the spotlight from them. And 8th edition happened, and the Warhammer community website happened, and it changed for a while for the best.
Yeah, like no other company right now has a chance of even seriously competing against Games Workshop. Like if you just look at the numbers, like there's no way.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how it goes, how it all came to be.
Yep.
But that was a lot to spend on a cold open there. I like it. That was nice. But I think now we should finally get into our story, shall we?
Yes, let's do it.
So let me just pull up the screen here. So obviously November is will come out tomorrow when this video is uploaded. And we are getting some Empire, well, not Empire, what are they called?
Cities of Sigmar.
Cities of Sigmar, there you go.
There we go.
John's gonna go to 20 stores to get a full regiment of these guys.
Full regiment,
Pick all these up. It's an alright model. They just came out. No, they're coming out this week, right? The official?
No, yes, the full release is out. No, next week. Remember, 2-week pre-order.
Oh, 2-week pre-order.
Yeah, 2-week pre-order. I actually pre-ordered the handgunner squad, the ogre, and the cannon, because that's the ones I need to run the formation in the book. Mm-hmm. So I grabbed those. Didn't get other stuff yet because I don't want to overwhelm myself with too much plastic. The heresy box just came in, and I don't want to add more if I don't have to.
Being overwhelmed with plastic, I wouldn't know anything about that. Wouldn't know anything about the closet full of plastic that I have waiting to be built. But yeah, so we get that, and then for those who like the coin, you get yourself a red Gobbo coin if you want to add more to your coin collection. I really wonder how these coins are going. I wonder if they're like that good of an incentive to bring you into the store. Because I think it's kind of lame that I can't just order $100 worth of stuff online and get a coin.
Sometimes. I guess for some people who are collectors, it's an incentive.
Yeah. I kind of wish I knew how how well it was doing.
Yeah, right. I am also quite curious.
It has to be doing well enough.
Because they keep doing it. They've been doing it, so
Yeah, I don't know if they've missed a year or day or month. So interesting enough. That is that. We got more old world news.
we
This
did.
is first look at some rules going on here. So I skimmed through this. I noticed a few things changed. So you got the strategy phase. Uh, so there's no magic phase after movement, which was how it should have. That's how Old World was, or at least when I jumped in, which
Yes, no, that's
was
what it was for fantasy.
I'm trying to
Good point.
remember fifth edition. No, wait, what was the Battle of Skull Pass? Was that
That
sixth edition?
was seventh edition. No, sixth edition. Sixth
Sixth edition.
edition.
So I
Wait,
jumped
wait,
in.
wait, wait. No, that was seventh edition. Seventh edition fantasy, because eighth was the last one. That was the high elf and Skaven one. Yeah, Skull Pass was seventh.
Okay, so I jumped in during just before Skull Pass.
So sixth.
I jumped in six, but I mainly played seventh edition. Like I had the Tomb King army. I played a couple games, and then Skull Pass came out.
Right.
So, and it used to be movement phase, magic phase, shooting phase, then uh combat phase. So looks like they're going the Age of Sigmar route where they're gonna have a strategy phase. So it's gonna be in the before your movement phase. This is where you can cast hexes, which are new. I'm pretty sure. I'm not
Yeah.
not familiar with hexes in Old World.
Yeah.
Uh,
This is the first time where spells are tied to a phase specifically.
yeah.
Because before, again, it was like Matt said, it was old. I mean, I think they in eighth edition they were already starting to divide them, just for like category purposes, but they used to only all use them in the magic phase. Oh, I think he got muffled, Matt. I know what happened.
Oh, sorry, my mistake.
All good.
Uh, so we see we go back and say this. So we see an enchanted item, bringing back special items that you give to your characters. Got the incantations, which are the Tomb King special thing, where they just back when I played them, incantations where you just rolled dice and whatever you rolled, that's it went off, and you could never miscast, and you could never uh, what was the powerful one called?
Irresistible force.
Irresistible Force. Thank you. You remember this a lot better than I do. But it looks like they I know they got rid of that when they got their seventh edition book, but looks like they'll be having a casting value on their incantations as well. And the Cursed Blades, it looks like it is only for the unit that the character is a part of, where I think otherwise it was like a 12-inch spell, something
Yeah.
like that. So they changed it a little bit here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we got a little bit more information on Old World. Still waiting for the release date, which will be sometime next year, most likely.
Yeah. I like the lack of a magic phase. I think even though magic was a big part of Warhammer Fantasy, having it tied to a specific phase was honestly kind of unwieldy. I think just and it's more concise to just have them all in whatever relevant phase it is.
Well, it's gonna still be tied to a phase. It's different in a different order.
Yes, exactly. Not just all in one kind of thing. Especially because some armies don't have a magic phase, so kind
Dwarves.
of don't get to participate in a whole phase of the game, like dwarves and corn, and even some army builds. But that said, I am a fan of that. Magic items being magic items. Also, just the strategy phase being a phase in general. Just so because there's a lot of abilities that were like at the start of the turn, and I think having it in a specific phase just makes it make sense.
Yeah, I mean, they mentioned one of those special rules, stupidity, which is
There we
a
go. Yeah,
famous. Stupidity was trolls, if I recall.
yeah. A lot of units had it too.
I know, and then orcs had animosity, which
Animosity. Yeah.
if they failed their test, they would just sit there and squabble sometimes, not doing anything, which was, you know, if you're the orc player, never fun. If you're the enemy, you know, you're thinking whatever god you pray to that they're not going to be able to do anything that turn.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just a little more information on what we're getting here. Even go over the rallying phase as well. So, but that's gonna be explained more later on. Now let's get to the models. Sunday preview, and then they say squats. So we are getting mainly the Necromunda models that they revealed a couple, well, basically last month, if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Either last month or the beginning of this month. So we got Orin, Grim Jarl. Uh, it is what it is. I like the robot. I don't really particularly like the dwarf character, but they all look the same. Unfortunately, they always have the same pose. This model right here, I could find the squat, the Votan character doing the exact same pose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, come on, they give him a little more dynamics, please, GW. Well, I guess this is Forge World because I assume it's gonna be Forge World cast, but he's coming. We got the Orson with the sniper rifle,
Also, Forge World.
also Forge World. We got the Trader Champion console. Very very nice model, very good looking model here. I know John's gonna pick up like 5 of them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We got the White Dwarf. If you want to buy some White Dwarf, I want your opinion, John, on White Dwarf. Do you think it is worth the asking price? Do you think magazines are worth at all?
I mean, personally, I don't really use them anymore. Um, I'm not even sure if magazines are still relevant in the grand popular culture. I certainly don't mind them. Yeah, because everything, like the content you used to see in magazines, you could probably find in blogs and stuff, like battle reports, painting tutorials, etc. Like the only thing of value, which I think that they did more of recently, is the rules, which is nice, but I mean,
Yeah, I don't.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth the asking price for like some cute rules here and there.
I mean, I still have my big stack of White Dwarfs back when I was subscribed to it. Of course, this was back when GW used to be in the mall
Hmm.
that we used to go to. Uh, yeah, I used it for the pictures because I like the pictures. I like the painting tips that they gave sometimes, but a lot of the stuff, I mean, they have YouTube videos. Well, I don't know if they still do the YouTube videos because I haven't really looked into it.
They do.
But
They do.
they do painting YouTube video tutorials, and Warhammer Plus pretty much covers a lot of it. Doing more painting tutorials or battle reports in a more consumable way, where this would just take up space or not really relevant in anything because what do you need it for?
Hmm.
I don't know. I think the way the magazine is kind of done with, but GW stands tall and proud by still supporting the White Dwarfs. I mean, they're almost at the 500, so I assume they're going to do something special when they get there. Just
That's
my
true.
hunch.
That's true.
I don't know what they're gonna do, but I assume it's gonna have. I would hope they would go all out. As much as I'm saying I don't like the White Dwarfs magazines in general, I would probably be very disappointed if they don't go all out on issue 500. But yeah, I don't see any point in the White Dwarf at this time. John mentioned they give out some free rules. I know I have a friend who buys a monthly White Dwarf, whenever he goes to a hobby store that sells it. And they come with a few things in there for like 40k or for Warcry or whatever, some like bonus missions and whatnot, but in the end that stuff's gonna end up online regardless. Someone's gonna post it. But that'll conclude my rant on the White Dwarf. I'll move on from that. And then of course we got Warhammer Plus, we got Lore Masters on Lady Orlan, and we got the Warhammer Plus model being painted. And that is that. And then a battle report of Curse City, which would be interesting to see, I guess. I assume they mean they're gonna play Curse City, or are they just gonna? It looks like they're just gonna play Curse City. So, if you want to see how that game plays, now's your chance. But that is that. Other model news: we got more 30k Epic. They're bringing in the Land Raiders. If you want to get your mini shoe boxes, now's your chance. They all kind of just look the same to me, but
Yeah, come on, guys, just release the game. Like, my gosh, the way it is killing me. Well, not actually, that's a lie. Take your time, but
you heard him,
the
GW. Release
articles,
it by the end of the year.
yeah,
He
or
needs
maybe
more
even
plastic
a little
crack.
bit next year. But yeah, it's the wait. There's just so much stuff. You know, there's so much stuff they're revealing, but there is no game insight.
Well, now what they're gonna do next once they run out of models, right? You're gonna start piecemealing you page by
Oh god.
page of the rules.
Oh gosh, like page 1 this week. Next week, page 2.
Page 1, the prologue. Page 2, here's the index of what will be in this game. Page 3, a brief
Gosh,
summary of what the creators thought about making these rules, and so on and
god,
so on.
please.
You'll have to wait till like page 100 till you actually get to some rules, because everything else will be fluff wise. That would be my joke for it, but I'm sure this is within reach sooner than we think.
Yeah, we shall see.
And then we got one more last piece of news for New Model Monday. We got a Necron Overlord, which I didn't think we were gonna get. I thought the Stormlord was gonna be the last, or was gonna be the only Necron model we got, but we got this new one with the trans dimensional cloak, I think is what it was called. And yeah, I must say, it's a good looking model.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Of course, he's on a tactical rock. It's always got to be on a tactical rock. But yeah, goddamn man, I like this. Sorry, translocation shroud, not cloak. Yeah, this is a cool model. I think I would pick this up. It's probably gonna be like $40.
Yeah, right. For a single character, definitely gonna be $40.
Yeah, because what a normal character on foot is. Let's just go basic Space Marine. Space Marine Captain is like what, $30?
It's like $40.
Yeah, this one's gonna be $40, no doubt. With all that plastic, all
Mhm.
that detail. I might look somewhere else to get it, but it's definitely a cool model. I think GW knocked it out of the park with this one. It's also a pleasant surprise because, like I said, I assumed Necrons were only gonna get the Stormlord character and nothing else. So rejoice, rejoice, Necrons! You are getting more and more love. Hopefully, they'll show off one more model.
Woohoo.
Hopefully, or at least plastic Satan and Deceiver. That would be nice too. But yeah, it was a very short news week. This week. Is there like I guess we already discussed that there's no one else is really releasing anything.
Yep.
So you don't really have any other stories on your end, huh?
Nothing much really.
Well then, I must ask, how is the month project coming? Because we're almost at the end of the month here. We're almost at the
I don't know.
31st.
Definitely won't finish 500 points because it's a lot of models, but I'm making progress. I'm almost done with the 20 dudes. I just have to paint their shields and do their basing, and they're good to go. But yeah, it's a lot. Because for 500 points, I need to paint the characters and the knights.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll keep going.
If you
The
had
goal
to
is to have
guesstimate, how
roughly,
many points have you painted?
oh gosh, like this unit is like 210 points or something, or no, like 180 points.
So you painted 180.
Yeah. Well, I have the book here actually. Let's look at
Oh,
the book.
I'm surprised. You're usually such a fast painter.
I think it's just so many dudes. This unit is steel helms. No, 200 points. Sorry, 200 points.
God damn, that's a lot of points. But then
Yeah,
again, I am playing more of a Horde army
that's true.
this time.
Yeah, and it is like 20 guys, right? So it is a lot of models, but yeah, I definitely couldn't do it in time. Also painting BattleTech, distracting myself with other projects, but I need to do other things because doing the same thing just drives me crazy. I'm like, I need to, especially when I know I had to paint 20 models that kind of look this, well, we with the same scheme more or less. There's
Mm-hmm.
20 of the same unit, right? Like I need to break the mold with some other units. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, I understand that. Because I'm painting the Night Haunt up, and I'm almost done. I'll post a picture by tomorrow. Spooky ghosts on Halloween day
hmm
of my result. I've working on my glaive stalkers here. I think that's what they're called. The rat looking guys with the giant glaives. Is that what they're called?
oh the glaive wraith stalkers.
Okay, yeah. So I'm working on them right now. I just have to touch up the ghost effect a little bit, gain a little bit
hmm
of their base, and base them up, and I'll have my 500 points up and ready.
There we go.
And then there's a few chain rasps that I have to touch up as well. But yeah, I was pretty much. I mean, I had about 10 chain rasps already painted, and I have the character that I'm running, the lantern guy, the spectral lantern guardian. There
Guardian
you go.
souls, yeah.
I already had him painted up, so
There you go.
I cheated a little bit, but everything else I've completely painted. So once the glaive raid stalkers are done and fully based, I'll have my 500 ready for our little skirmish.
There you go.
So that's pretty much what I've been working on all week.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice to just do something else. I've been painting so much Shadows of Brimstone that it's, which, you know, Shadows of Brimstone has a lot of diverse models in it. Like, I'm not painting the same chain rasp, the same thing over and over again. And, like, that has a lot of models, but with this, with everything being the same models, it's just nice to go like it all done in one clean sweep of the brush.
Right.
Because it's like I don't have to think too much. I don't have to diversify it too much. It's just like, all right, let's go ahead and dump them in Night Haunt Gloom and then paint up all
And
the
there we
other
go.
little areas that I need.
Yeah.
Dry brush, Uthron Gray, and highlight with Skull White. Done. Easy. And then, paint up the weapon, whatever. So, it's been nice. It's been nice to, have a goal and complete it. Which is what I always set for myself when I try to do, like, paint a model a day kind of thing, right?
Hmm.
If I hit that goal, I feel completed. Like, I feel like I did something.
Right.
So, that's a little tip for you guys out there. Just have a minor goal, even if it's just paint one model a day. Trust me, you'll get your army nice and painted out there in no time.
Hmm.
Even if it takes years like me to finally get this Night Haunt army up and running. But yeah, that's going with that. I would have to ask for next month, how many points would I have to paint?
Another 500, right? Or should we do 250 or something? I think
I think 500's
five
fun.
500 should be good. Yeah, like a month.
It's AOS. AOS is
Yeah.
very expensive point wise.
Right. Right. Should be okay. Another 500.
500, all
Why not?
right.
We'll try to get 1,000 painted then.
I look forward to it. Other news wise, I mean, what have you been up to?
It's been hobbying. Haven't really played games this week. Yeah, it's mostly just been hobbying.
Been
Working on again the City Sigmar, some battle tech. I do have a Legion tournament on Sunday, so I'll be doing that. But all my models are painted for that. Yeah, haven't done any much wargaming. It's been busy this week. How about you?
What you wait? Hold on. What you running for Legion?
Oh, Empire.
Oh, the good guys, of course.
Oh yeah, quad speeder bikes, Vader, Snows, and heavy support stormtroopers.
It sounds disgusting, but I have no idea. Quad bikes?
Mm-hmm.
Are bikes that good?
Oh, in this battle force, yeah, because it's the skew of just having so many fast units.
Got it. Okay. Me. Well, I mean, I already set up my Night Haunt. Working on that. Gaming wise, I did my monthly Shadows of Brimstone game. That was fun. Yeah. Scenario was to go around smashing uh mechanical or no stone towers that were opening up portals of letting metal men come into our world. So that was fun. We almost lost that game. It was a real nail biter because for those who don't know, the game has a tracker. So you have one that moves up for every tile you discover, and then you got one that moves down for every hold back the darkness test that you fail. And our tracker for hold back the darkness was almost at the end. Yeah, we had one more turn basically. If we failed that test one more time, we would have lost. Luckily, we completed the mission at the end, at the last turn, because given our roller, who was holding back the darkness, he was not doing too hot. So luckily, we finished the mission with a close call, but fun. It was a fun game. I enjoyed it. Again, I will never not recommend Shadows of Brimstone to anyone. If you have a bunch of group of friends able to do some dungeon crawling, Check it out. Fun game. Other than that, mainly just planning for the LVO trip. That's the next big thing we've been doing. Got to figure out accommodations and whatnot. Figure out who's going and who's not going. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but I've returned to Dark Tide since
Oh,
they've had that big update. Have I not
oh
mentioned
yeah.
this?
How was it?
Uh, well, for me, I've always liked Dark Tide.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been one of those games where you just go with a group of friends, you do a couple missions, and then you call it a day, right? It's basically it's basically 40K Left 4 Dead. That's what I
Right.
wanted. Uh, was it perfect? I mean, no, I wouldn't say it's perfect, but I was still had a lot of fun. Uh, but now they added skill tree, pretty much, to the game. So now you can diversify your characters a bit more instead of having, because like what they used to have for a skill tree was like every 5 levels. No, not every 5 levels. Every set amount of levels. I think it's like 15, 20, 25, 30. You get to pick a new skill tree or skill trait,
Mm-hmm.
which was, you know, not very not very good. I'll be real. Wasn't that good. Obviously, we're
Yeah.
gonna go with the best stuff. This one, there's a lot more variety in your build. Uh,
Oh, okay.
Example, I picked the sharpshooter. You know, you got the tank, you got the healer, and then you got the third class is usually some variation, right? So you got the sergeant ability, you got the sniper where you're more stealthy, and then you got the uh I forget the name of the other one, but it was more shooty. So you go down that whole tree, you get 30 skill points, and the best part is you can mix and match, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you can go down one path, get the super part. Let's just say you went to southbound. There's one where you will just turn invisible. If you grab that, then you can diverge into either the tank or the damage tree and just go down that tree and grab that special ability. So definitely a lot better there. They definitely added a lot more cosmetics that you can get in store. I mean, yeah, in game. Sorry, not in store. In game with the credits, so it's not too microtransactiony.
Mm-hmm.
The problem I would say is there's a bit of a grind. Which I mean, if you played Vermintide, you already know that there's a bit of a grind because you don't really get to play the game until you get to level 30, right?
Mm.
Because you don't get all the cool abilities till you get to level 30. You don't upgrade your guns and waste your money buying guns until you get to level 30 and you get the good higher item level of the weapon. So it's hard to say that it's good because you know those people who always recommend games or anime or movie shows, or they're like, yeah, it's a really good game once you get to X amount of hours into the game.
Yeah. Right.
So it's like I said, if you just want to have a Left 4 Dead kind of game, I think Dark Tide's really good. But if you really want to get into the end game stuff, it's a bit of a grind. It's a bit of a grind. I haven't tried leveling up a new character yet. I already had like my sharpshooter to like level 28 by the time this patch dropped. So I don't know if they fixed the leveling enough, but yeah, it's a bit of a grind. I'll just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they've done a few good things for that. Um, And then there was one more thing. I picked up this game. I just want to see something. Picked up this game called Strange Brigade for like $3. I don't know. Have you ever heard of this game?
Strange Brigade, I have not.
It's basically a horde shooter
Oh, okay.
where you're you know, the 1950s kind of explorers, right?
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. I've heard of that.
Yeah. So right now, if you go to Steam for at least another 38 hours, it's for $3. I recommend it for that price. It's pretty good. Obviously, it's another Left 4 Dead kind of game. You'll see a pattern with my gameplay here. I'd recommend you just, give it a shot. Try it out. It's a pretty fun game, in my opinion. Especially for just $3. $4 if you want to buy the collectors or whatever it's going, because it's like 95% off right now. Usually goes for $50. So I played that. I had fun. But yeah, that's what I've been pretty much doing for my week. Nothing but painting, video games, and playing games with the boys.
Very nice. Very nice way to spend a week.
It is. I don't know what I'm gonna do this week though. I don't know what I'm gonna do this Wednesday. Depends on who shows up. Might be BattleTech, might be 40K. You know, we're getting closer to the holidays, and that's when everyone's schedules are always up in the air. So it's always hard to coordinate with people. But I don't really have anything else to rant about. You got anything you want to talk about
I think
before
that's
we
it.
cut off here? All right
I think
then. Um, I guess we'll call it there then. I'd like to thank everyone who made it to the end, and we'll see you next time.
good, everyone.